So with my recent diagnosis with ADHD, I had to take a look at myself and really evaluate things in my life and realize like, oh my God, that's why I do this. Or, oh my God, that's why I do that. Did you know that most women are not diagnosed with ADHD until their mid to late 30s? Guess how old this girl is? Late 30s. I'm not going to tell you exact age. But anyway, so late 30s. That's when we're diagnosed. Like, how crazy is that? Typically, women don't present the same way as boys and men do, which is crazy. Like, boys and men, they like exude their hyperactivity or they're not paying attention on the outside. You could see it from a mile a minute. Well, for the female species, we do everything in our brain. So like our brains, instead of just sitting still and thinking on one subject or one thing at a time, we go through tons of different things, tons of different scenarios all at one time. So the multitasking brain might not be a true multitasking brain. It might be a ADHD brain. Who would have thought? Anybody else's life revolve around a schedule? Like, let's not forget, I have 4 kids, right? Right now, baby girl doesn't have a huge schedule, but I have 4 kids, plus my husband, plus myself. We have a huge schedule. And not only do I organize my schedule, color code it, everything, if it's not on the schedule, it most likely won't happen because I forget and I don't know. And that is a sign of ADHD. I had no idea. Like, that's crazy. The big P word, procrastination. Like, in order for me to stop procrastinating, I write down my schedule. I have to do everything right then and there if I'm thinking about something, because if I don't do it right then and there, or if I don't write it down to come back to it, it's not going to happen. Procrastination. Like, I just procrastinate for everything, and I didn't even realize that I was battling my procrastination due to ADHD by doing all these steps. And I'm like, wow, how am I even productive when I've been not diagnosed this whole time, over 30 years of my life? Like, it's just one of the craziest things ever. In my daily life, there are just certain things that I do routine. If I don't do them in routine, I mess it up, or I forget to do something, and it's like, this has to be done, this has to be done, this has to be done. Otherwise, it gets forgotten. Well, one of my routines is when I walk in the door, I have to put my keys right by the door on the key hanger thing, right? I have to put my bag right there by the key hangers as well. Otherwise, next time I go to look for them, it could be an hour, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 10 minutes. I will have no idea where my keys are, where my purse is, nothing. Like, I just search around like a headless person or something, just looking for my stuff. And that's a sign of ADHD. What? Like, whoa. Impulse control. Apparently I don't have any. And I did not know that that is a sign of ADHD. And honestly, I didn't feel like I had impulse control issues. But anytime anybody says anything and they see other people around and they're like, Raquel, don't say that, or don't say this. And I'm looking at them like, why would you think I would say something like that? Well, come to find out, it's because sometimes I just blurt out random things, and sometimes I think about it later, sometimes I don't. I'm like, oh damn, why the hell did I just say that? But most of the time, I don't even realize that I did it. And like, there's a little literal squirrel right there. Anyways, most of the time I don't even realize that I did it, but that's a sign of ADHD. What the hell? Now that I know that I have ADHD, I just feel like Doug off of Up, the movie, the cartoon movie, where you're just looking, you're walking, you're talking, doing something totally different, and then all of a sudden you shift to a different direction and you're like, oh, squirrel, oh, no, Like, if you've had a conversation with me for longer than probably 20 minutes, maybe even 10, you probably have noticed that I do that, and I thought it was just normal. Doesn't everybody do that? Apparently not. Sign of ADHD. I do some of my best thinking while I am walking around, even working out in general, because I'm actively going, so I'm doing multiple things at one time. So it kind of gives my brain multiple things to do. So the walking, is kind of like mindless, so to speak, but I can think clearly because I'm doing this mindless activity while I'm thinking. So I'm able to feed my ADHD, so to speak, while I come up with ideas for teaching students or learning or exercises or nutrition or different things that, for that matter. So that's something that I've learned to incorporate into my life so that I can be productive. Because if I didn't do those kind of things, and I was doing this before I even realized I had ADHD, if I wasn't doing these things, I don't think I would be able to do anything.